Once you're logged in to your Succession Link account, you can access your engagements by clicking on the Conversations tab. If you look at the top right of the screen, you will see a set of 3 icons. The middle icon, which looks like a square chat box and may even have a red blinking number, is your Conversations tab. So let's click on the Conversations tab. Mine shows the number 2. Once I'm in the inbox, I can see that one of these conversations is bolded. This is the new message. If I want to open the message, I will click on it. But first, let's determine why the red number says 2. If you look over to the left, you can see that we have split up the inbox. You have an unread tab and you have a needs response tab. That same message that's unread also needs a response. This is why the red number is blinking 2 rather than 1. We can access this message by clicking on it. And I will click right here on the header where it says 500 million assets under management. And now the message has opened. At the very top of the message, you can see the subject, I am very interested. Right below that, you will see who the message is to. In this case, it's to me, which is why it says you. And then you can see who the message is from. In this case, this is a practice out in San Diego. Below, you'll be able to read the existing message here. And below that, you can type a response. I could say, hello, this is a test message. Okay. To the very right, I will click send. Now it has sent my message, and now my message is in the conversation history between myself and this member. Notice here that the initial message that was written to me by this member has now been grayed out, and the most recent one, which came on my behalf, is not grayed out. If I wanted to see this message, I would click on the little down pointing arrow next to the user's listing name. There we go. Or again, I can gray it back out and just focus on the most recent message. You'll notice next to the send button on the bottom, 3 dots. Let's click there. Once you're there, you'll notice there are a few already drafted messages that you could use in place of typing a response. This may be more convenient for you, or if you're not sure of how to word your message, there are some great suggestions here. In this case, I've already replied to the user, but for tutorial purposes, let's choose one of these. I'm pursuing other engagements at the moment. I can simply click send, or I think I'd like to add in a thank you, and then I'll click send. Okay, wonderful. So now we've been able to open a message and reply to a message. If you look at the left-hand side, where we've split up the inbox into an unread tab and a needs response tab, the numbers are no longer there. If you look back at the top right on the Conversations tab icon, there's no red blinking number there either. If I wanted to go back to all of my conversations, I could simply click this back arrow next to the word Conversations. I could also just click on the word Inbox. Here are all of my messages that I have opened, and in this case, I've responded to all of them as there is still a 0 in the Needs Response tab. Take notice that on 2 of these messages, the top 2, there is a yellow star next to both. This means I have starred these messages. These messages interest me. Let's open the message so I can show you how to star a message. On the top right, to the very right of the subject of any given message, you can click the yellow star. In this case, I've just removed it. Or, in this case, I've just placed the star. You can also click the trash can button to delete the message, and it will ask you if you're sure you want to delete the message. And in this case, I have already replied to this member. Had I not replied to this member, it will send an automatic response upon being deleted that this is not a suitable match at this time. So I will go ahead and click yes, delete my engagement. And it will take me back to my inbox, and now I no longer see that engagement. However, I could restore the engagement in the event that you may have deleted it by accident by simply going down to the trash section here, the trash tab, and there it is. So let's click to open, and we can click this button here to restore. Okay, let's go back to our inbox, and there's the message, already restored. Once you're inside of a message, you can also mark it as spam, which will notify the Succession Link team. And maybe you don't want to delete the message, but perhaps save it for later. You could click this check mark here. It's right next to the star. Let's click that, and it's going to give you the option to close the conversation. In a way, archive the conversation. So let's click close. And why do we want to end the conversation? This is asking, can we send this message to this individual? Or, no thanks, just end the conversation. And so those will go in the Done tab. Back here on the left where you have the Starred tab, Done. Let's click on Done. And again, here we see the message plus a few others that I've already closed out. Going back to inbox, you won't see any of the closed conversations here, just the open ones. However, if you wanted to see both, that is what the All tab is for. These are both open and closed, or open and archive conversations. If you have more than one listing, you will receive messages, perhaps from both listings. If you wanted to organize your inbox by listing, you could do so right here on the very bottom of the left-hand side of the conversation box. It says filter engagements by listing. So we can click here, and I can say, I only want to see messages that have come through from my job listing. Okay, here's a few here. What about maybe just my advisor listing? Going back to inbox. There have been none. I haven't received any on that listing. And again, back to job. Here are the two. Now I will reset filter engagements by listing to all. And one last thing I'd like to show you is at the top right, you can organize your message from newest messages first. Or vice versa, you can click and access oldest messages first. We encourage that you take a look at the oldest messages first, as these are members who have been waiting longer to hear a response from you. And as a reminder, whenever you receive an inquiry on your Succession Link account, Succession Link will send you an email to the email address associated with your account, letting you know that you do have a new message.